This is a red alert. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your Planetary Defense Commander, Star-Lord Newthor 7, and I watch out for you and y'all every day. Plus, I think I was born a super genius and have never been married and have no kids, so I've been allowed to pursue information and knowledge my whole life. And so I've come up with a whole lot of cool shit while people have been focusing on things that they were told to focus on. And so I'm going to tell you straight up the truth as far as I know it. That the planet has been around for a long time. The sun's been around for a long time. The planets and the stars have been around for a long time. And so right now, we have a major imbalance in our solar system. We have 10 planets on one side of the basketball court in this game of dodgeball, and then 3 planets on the other side of the basketball court. And so the 2 biggest planets in our solar system, Jupiter and Saturn, are on the same side, very close to each other. Even if you want to look at it in like football terms or chess, like they have 3 pieces, our side has 10. And so because you have planetary orbital angular momentum as they orbit around the sun and move forward, it's causing a shift in the magnetic fields. It's causing a shift in the sun. It's almost like the way the solar system grows and evolves. So you're getting major storms on all the planets and major changes across the solar system as we spin forward together into the future. And so all the major, definitely North America's major earthquakes and volcanoes in modern record have come when all the gas giants are on the same side. And then you get Jupiter and Saturn very close to each other. And so these are going to be some extremely interesting times. Technically, I've spent 5 years trying to warn us about the Earth and space weather changes that will be happening. And I've definitely spent all year trying to get us ready for the May Day and to November period. And so this is where we're at. And for reference, as these things are spinning around, remember, Earth is this big, Jupiter is that big, Saturn is that big. And so, like, we have, like, all this on our team, and they have, like, Uranus and little Mars and little Pluto. And so, now this isn't doom. Yeah, if we adapt to it, as part of our coasts are going to get carved out and go underwater. If we adapt to it as a people, in evolution, we can deal with it. But right now, civilization is still going retrograde. And, the main driver of the weather on Earth is the sun. I don't know if you knew that. You do now. Yeah, that's how it's always been. And so the sun is evolving and changing. And so Earth is evolving and changing. And hopefully we will get in the game at some point. Right now, we have a major backside sunspot, AR something, something, something. And you can see that as she's spinning back around, I think that's her, she's bringing some major, nasty, vicious activity. And I noted the last time she'd spun around and was Earth-facing, which coincidentally is the same time we had that major storm last month. Holy crap, that sunspot / coronal hole is one of the weirdest looking spidery coronal holes I've ever seen. So you can tell that there's a lot of activity happening over there. And so when there's crazy wild activity in the sun, there's crazy wild activity in Earth weather. And then people actually are affected by the sun too. Health, mental and physical and spiritual health. Sometimes you get too much energy. It's hard to deal with. All right, so hopefully my soothing voice and my kindergarten lesson has got everybody ready for the kind of scary shit. Now, this is the storm we have exploding over the United States right now. The weather pulses up and down, and I definitely have noticed there are lightning upticks and severe storm severity upticks in the weather. It's more drastic in the spring. And so as the storm has pulsed up and then down, we're going to get our next pulse here happening right there. And so the low pressure system we are watching has pulsed down, but after this pulse, it's going to pulse back up. And its main danger has always been to part of the upper coast, although it bringing heavy rain, but is more of a volcano signal as we were watching the volcanoes in the Caribbean, because we are pretty sure we're going to see some nasty volcano activity and nasty earthquake activity in the month of May, and definitely for over the next 6 years, especially 2019, 2020, due to all gas giants on the same side. And so this is what I've pegged a volcano signal, volcano earthquake signal. I've been pegging it like that for a while. It's unofficial, but it's off of dryness. And so when the ocean gets really dry, I'm like, oh crap, you guys need to watch out. And so this little slit right here we're seeing, that's about as impressive right there I've ever seen. And it's almost like a Rorschach test or a mask, see the two eyes. But I'm saying that I'm just getting the back end of it now. But when you see that, like the size of this, the length of this, the shape of this, everything about this dryness signal right there, that whole line across, I think we're seeing some heavy magma movement under the ground. So we will definitely be watching out for major earthquake activity today. It looks like it could be around the Chile area. Now watch as the Orion arm moisture is totally loading back up, and see how it's almost like we're getting a second equatorial electrojet water bulge down here, and then we get ours up there. And so it's almost like we have two equators now. One's like a rain equator and one's the old equator. And so this here, it stretches from all the way down there. It goes over the active volcanoes down here, through Texas, through the Gulf, up the east, and then out. And so that's going to keep repeating, and that's going to continue to cause flooding problems over the next 6 years. And so it's like our magnetic field is also moving very fast. Also, the weather and Earth is a very dynamic, complicated process that we've just barely scratched the surface of. And when we did scratch the surface, we were like, oh my God, we found oil. Somebody stick science in the mud like a stick, and we will not move it forward. But we will charge you $10,000 for a pill. Okay, so we have 342 rivers flooding, and if that looks like a scary situation, it is. And what's even scarier is the media and our politicians' absolute deaf, dumb, and blindness to it, because this is a major problem that will continue. Flooding season has just begun. So it's wave after wave after wave pattern now. And you have combining rivers. And so Texas is going to be in on this. We're on team, oh crap, we're flooding. We're going to have to probably adjust, because if these rivers continue to widen, as Edgar Casey had mentioned, there's a chance that the middle of here could fall into the ocean. It might be a bit much heavy today, but man, I don't know. Okay, so while I'm watching the heat thing here, as this pulse is down, but watch these lines. It's the straight lines right there that's, I don't know, something about it. I don't like it. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies. All right, see that right there? They're getting heavy rain, South America. Look at that. See? And then we get satellite fuzz out, but we're getting a heavy push band. Call what you want to. That signal right there is not. That's. See, we got two hardcore volcano earthquake signals on the map. And then what is that thing even doing? Here's the heavy moisture coming through. And then what is this thing even doing right here? Remember, right around this time last year, I think, was when Kilauea volcano erupted and wiped out some highways, roads, and neighborhoods in Hawaii. And it didn't even come out of the volcano itself. It created 22 new fissures. I don't know why it didn't want to come out the hole. That still confuses me. So you got the dragger here pushing it in. And we're watching for possible earthquake activity anywhere from this month. And volcano activity possibly anywhere from this month, definitely over the next 2 years, up to Pacific Northwest due to the gas giant alignment and tracking back all other major storms. Here's the major storm that is erupting over the United States today. These storms have had severe weather potential, and they will all spring. We've been seeing some pretty high number of tornadoes that are pretty damaging and devastating. But what is even... Yeah, so we got heavy rains coming in, and this whole part of the country is heavily saturated. And, the majority of the United States has been focused on a buffet of a nothing burger for months and months and months. If I want people to tune out, all I got to do is mention the word infrastructure. Like, hey, dudes, we need to upgrade and modernize our infrastructure. And people are like, let me tell you what I hate about politicians. Let me tell you which ones are the evilest. Plus, let me include all the bad guys' plans. We're doomed. I don't know. Sure, like 10% of the time, I'm like, oh my God, we're doomed. The rest of the time, I'm like, I have faith in God. And good guys and good ladies always pull it out in the end. Granted, yeah, we're coming down to the wire. And I wish we were doing better, figuring out that we need to work together if we're going to conquer these problems. But we're still in the game. And Thor News, me, the T, is still here. And I appreciate you guys. We had 31,000 lightning strikes pretty much all over the map here. In Texas and across. And even down in the volcano areas. You know what created these islands in the Caribbean? If you guessed volcanoes, you are totally correct, ma'am. Uh-oh. And there is our heavy rainfall over the next 7 days. And as you can see, it's going to lay a swath of heavy rainfall over the areas that are already highly saturated, if not flooding. We had multiple dam and levee breaks in Nebraska. In March, we had a major Iowa dam levee failure yesterday. And these are big deals. And I know my theory that they're trying to keep people distracted from the really important information is seem to be more true and true every day. And so yeah, we got our storm, and this is going to drop some heavy rain. And remember, when the models predict this stuff, they usually do it to the low side. So we have a chance for some pretty eye-popping rain totals in the next few days. And we're still going to watch the development of that low system as it moves out. Yeah, potential for tornadoes in Texas today, in the middle, south of DFW, I guess maybe Waco. Is that Bryan, Austin, San Antonio? Well, everybody just stay over. But it's Texas, man. Texas is amazing. God, I love Texas. Texas is so cool, it's like an honorary animal. Right, because animals are cool. But there's a main spot, and yeah, it's a bunch of heavy rain. So I recommend everybody take a break from talking about politics, and all problems will be local as far as flooding and how to adapt to it at first. And so concentrate on what we're going to do to get through flooding season and hurricane season. Take a break till hurricane season. Let's get ready for hurricane season because it's going to be pretty bad. India's getting a record hurricane right now. They call it a cyclone. Record evacuations. Africa got hit by 2 hurricanes/cyclones. One destroyed 35,000 homes. Australia got hit by 2. We're pretty sure we're going to get hit by 2 minimum. I'm pretty sure one will be around the 13th to 15th. of September, and then the 13th to 15th of October, give or take. That's a couple, week. If we're lucky, they'll be there. They'll just go out to sea, but we know they're going to be there on the board. So what is that thing even doing, man? I don't know. It's just sitting there. It's a low pressure sitting and spinning. Yeah, these are crazy times. I'm just trying to say, yeah, due to those super high, other things going on, and those marks, the dry marks, we are definitely on high alert. Oh, let me go to nationwide volcano monitoring and warning system becomes law. So that's good. They keep doing some behind the scenes stuff. Makes it sound like they might actually be prepping us for the future. I mean, good guy. Like, there are a lot of good people on the planet, we can never break the negative stronghold. Nation seeks to evacuate 11 million ahead of Fani. As India, evacuating 11 million is a difficult task to do, and it's always best to do it as far ahead of time as possible, which is why we need to be on our best behavior. Tropical disturbance near Florida, we're watching it. And so, yeah, it's a big, bad, nasty situation. This is, we're barely even, we're not even into our hurricane season, and the hurricane season across the world in 2019 cyclone has been just nuts. All right, let's see what's on my Twitter. That's where I go to make mistakes and prove that I have flaws, and grapple publicly with the question of, what does a classic romantic white male, heterosexual male, do in 2019? Because shit is fucked up, man. True story. I mean, I'm grateful. You guys are great. We're hanging in there. But I'm saying, it'd be nice if I ever did take a break from work, go on a date or whatever. Why can't I get to my... Who knows? Dating is wild. Why you... Oh, my computer's fighting me. Where are we at? Okay, I got nothing good for you then. Oh, Michael Ventris bringing Asteroid Fight Club home with still liking the odds for a major severe thunderstorm outbreak across the plains east between May 24th and June 6th. And so this would fall in the date. Remember, we had the major storm in the middle of March. We had the major storm in the middle of April. We're pretty much probably going to have a definitely major storm in the middle of May. And this would fall in line with that same theory. Okay? It's like the Eris step up, step down. And hey, that's Scotland, and it's beautiful. And cucumbers are like watermelons without the sweet pink stuff. Oh, yay, work. And that's what I'm doing now. Locally heavy rain over East Texas and DFW Metro North and West has produced new river flooding. It's a bad situation, man. Texas needs to rise above and show everybody how it's done, because this situation is going to get bad. And I would recommend people in Texas shifting west. Us working together, and me and my cousin Scotty could probably work with other great Aggies out. Well, he's not an Aggie. He went to SMU. Aggies out there to build a modern city of the future in West Texas in safe spots to deal with these changes. How about that? A city of the future built from scratch. And they have the water desalination stuff, so you can get the water to the desert. We can do a lot of cool Texas stuff. Okay, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, the river situation is pretty bad, and it's going to definitely need to be monitored. And we're going to have to adapt together, because one major earthquake in the United States, one major volcano eruption in the United States would really disrupt an apple cart that has been doing nothing but fighting with itself for like 6 straight years. And then granted, all the good people out there have been kind of rocked back on their heels since 9/11. Because it's like people have been a step ahead of us. But we're coming back together, okay? And so, no, the bad guys are not going to win. No, God doesn't want you to just roll over and wait for the devil to like take everything, like a paint by the numbers book of Revelation shit, man. We're here to work together to help each other's family. And I feel kind of guilty because if things get really sketchy, I live in Texas, and I know if anybody can rally to keep things running, it's Texas. It's the other states I'm worried about. Anyway, and the rest of the world, man, we're all one family. I don't know why we've been fighting for 1,000 years. Oh, yeah, it keeps a very small minority totally in power and profit as we fight over the scraps to fall off the table. But we are all God's children. I love you all, and I will be talking to you guys in the very near future. Okay? Stay cool. And God bless rock and roll, and God bless you too.